DBSCG things.
What's up, Yuhp gang? It's your boy Taxon, and welcome back to Yuhp DBSCG things. And today we're bringing another very exciting deck profile, guys. It's going to be the deck that went undefeated at my local last week. This is Cooler Mill. But before we get into it, guys, I do want to say if you guys want any custom mats and or sleeves, absolutely check out Promats, guys. This is the best place to go get your custom card needs. Links in the description as usual. And also on the screen now, you can see that they are holding a monthly tournament via Discord at the second weekend of every single month with some great prizing here. You can come win some Promat mats, TCG medal leaders, and also some booster boxes. So if this is something you're interested in, use the links in the description below to go to this Discord and join it. With that being said, guys, if you guys enjoyed this list or my content in general, remember to hit all those buttons for me, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And with that being said, let's spin it around and dive in. Alrighty, guys, here's the deck. Now let's go ahead and go over it. First things first, let's shout out TCG Medals real quick. Obviously, they do amazing jobs on all their medal leaders. I'll leave a link in the description straight to their website if you guys want to go check out any of their product. With that being said, let's start off with the leader really quickly. When you attack with them, you draw a card. Pretty simple there. And then auto, when the power of one of your opponent's battle cards is decreased, your opponent takes the top card of their deck and places it in their drop area. That's where you get the mill aspect of the deck from. And then auto, once per turn, if it's your opponent's turn, when the power of one of your opponent's battle cards is decreased by the skill of one of your battle cards, draw one card. That's really useful. That'll help you keep your hand size good while you're playing cards in order to minus cards. Awaken, 4 or less, draw one, stand one, no alternate awakening there. Backside is relatively the same thing. Auto, when you attack, you draw one, and then same effect for the milling. When the power of one of your opponent's battle cards is decreased, they mill the top card of their deck. And then the only thing that's different on the backside is the once per turn happens on your and your opponent's turn instead of like on the front side. It just happens on your opponent's turn. Backside, when you minus one of their battle cards, you can draw a card on your or your opponent's turn. So let's go ahead and move this guy over here. Let's talk about the deck really quickly. Starting off the deck, we got 4 1-drop Friezas. This card's amazing. For a 1-drop, it's great. So much value here. This card comes out for 1 energy, you draw a card, and then you have an activate battle for 1 red. You get to choose one of your opponent's leader cards or battle cards, and it gets minus 10,000 power for the duration of the battle. This skill is absolutely amazing, and like against certain color decks, this is like a really, really good card. Like against like blue or yellow, this card will stay on field for quite some time, and you'll be able to really maneuver some of their battle cards and or just like minus their leader once per turn to save yourself a damage. Cool thing to note is that the activate battle is not once per turn. So there's been situations where I was like going for game and I had this card in field, and I like, let's say they're at 1 life or whatever, swing with leader, 2 life, whatever it is, swing with a cooler. Swing, if they say no negates, you can activate battle as many times as you have energy active for it. And you can leave their leader in the negatives. Like, I can't remember what I was first in, but I was first in something, and I had this card on field, and I was going for game with a double striker. And I just paid one like 4 or 5 times and put them at like negative 30 or something like that, and it was negative 25. It was crazy. So this card's absolutely great. Phenomenal value, and it gets even better depending on what color you're versing. Obviously, things like green, it's not going to stay around long. Next card in the list, we have 3 combo attack cooler. I love this card a lot. This card is going to be what enables your offensive arrivals without having to use your super combos from hand. And then also this card is going to allow you to loop your coolers or any Frieza clan actually from your battle area to your hand in order to play this. So for 1 blue energy, you get to play him, and then like let's say you have this in field, any Frieza clan really. You can pay 1, play this, add this to your hand, and then he comes out. And then whenever you attack with him, you get the combo of red-blue multicolor red-blue multicolor card from the graveyard. So that will help you doing some offensive arrivals if you need to. Next card, we're gonna dive into the multicolors. We got 3 or 4 Mecha Frieza. You kind of just need to play this. We're playing multicolor. It is your checkland if you do not know. And then we got 4 Beerus Divine Obliterator. This card is like what makes this deck really good. This is your super combo. It's also your red-blue card, so you can do your arrivals, which is great. And then whenever you combo with this card on your opponent's turn, you get to stand up one of your red-blue energies. So it's pretty important to know that if you like, let's say you only have 1 red-blue in your energy, right? You got some other random stuff. Let's say I wanted to pay 1 to play this or pay 1 to play this. Always make sure you're tapping down your red-blue in order to play whatever card it is that you're trying to play, so that when you're on your opponent's turn and you use your super combo, you can get the full value of untapping that. So that's that there. Super combo of choice. Kind of got to play that. We are running 4 Hercule Boo. This guy draws a card on play and then chooses one of your opponent's battle cards and minuses it by 10. This card is a rival red-blue for a blue energy. And then at the end of the turn, you get to choose one of your cards, one of your battle cards that are not this card, and add it to your hand. So it's really good in helping you loop more things, along with combo attack cooler already doing so. That card on your opponent's turn will be a draw 2, mill 1, which is really, really good because your leader lets you draw when you minus a card, and he already draws a card, so very, very good, especially on your awakening play. If you're set up on your backside and you have 1 tapped energy, you super combo on their first attack, you'll rival this guy, minus a card, and draw a card, and then you'll draw, and then mill. And you can awaken, untap, get your energy right back that you just used to play him, and you can play one of these guys and get the full value of both sides of your leader's effects there. So anyways, cooler. He's a rival red-blue for 1 red. He's a 20k double strike 5-drop. Auto when this card is played, your opponent mills 1, and then you get to choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, minus him by 10k for the duration of the turn. That's also very, very good because that's going to trigger your leader card to mill 2 and then also draw if you haven't already. So this guy is a total of a mill 3 for 1 energy. Very, very solid investment. Not much else to say about him there. He's a 20k double strike pressure as well, so most of the time he's going to be getting dealt with. If not, cool things you can do with him is like if your opponent's not playing battle cards and you want to play some heavier pushing style, you can these are 1 energy double strikes, so it's like you can swing with this on your like for whatever reason, swing with this, you know, on your turn, have your leader whatever, swing with this, activate battle to play this, return this to your hand. You can swing with this, combo with this from the grave to play this again for 1 energy. So you can do some aggressive plays and not be holding these for mills. You can really just be using these to push. So that is a cool thing you can do there. Another great card for that same exact reason, for pushing or just getting that big minus out. You got the 5-drop Champ Pack Cooler. This guy is a triple strike, a rival for 3 energy. He's a rival red-blue, and 1 colorless. Auto when this card is played or attacks. Notice it's not once per turn, so if you do play this card on your turn, you do get that both times. Auto, when this card is played or attacked, your opponent places the top card of their deck into their drop area, and then you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 25,000 for the turn. So if your opponent has like a 30k, like a secret rare or something crazy on field, you can play this guy. If it doesn't get countered, you can swing with it. If it doesn't get messed with in the swing, you can get the effect again. So you play it, you mill them 1, choose a card, and minus it by 25. That'll trigger you to draw and mill, and then you'll swing with it. And then that will allow you to make your opponent mill 1 more and target a card and minus at 25 once again. So that will be a total of a mill 4 for 3 energy. And then also at the end of the turn, you can choose to return this card to your hand. And then if you do so, you get to stand one of your energies to active mode. I rarely do play this card, but when I do, if I play it for 3 and you do stand up one of your energies, make sure you leave the red-blue tapped. Make sure you leave the red-blue tapped, or one of them at least, so that you can untap it with your super combo on your opponent's turn. Now that we're done with the red-blue package, we're going to go ahead and dive into the Unison. We'll play Jiren. Jiren's kind of self-explained. This card is like a mill machine, and plus it provides so much pressure, so like it's just a beast. Auto, whenever your opponent plays a card, you can choose to minus it by 10,000 power. If you don't, you get that triggered on the next card played. If you do, it negates the skill for the turn. So that's great against these like rip life token negates. Like people will be like, oh, I'll swing with this thing and be like 20 double strike, and they'll be like, yeah, I'll rip a life and negate, and then I'll just be like, yeah, well, minus the blocker and mill 1 card, please. So like this card is great. It does a lot of things for that reason. So the +1 just makes the double strikes. So that alone is just great pressure. And then your -3 is just always fearful for your opponent, so this card will become like a shield for you. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and it gets minus 25,000 power for the turn. So like if your opponent's playing anything and they're wanting to swing at your leader, as long as they're not directing the attack at your Unison, you can use the activate battle to -3, ignoring barrier, and minus it by 25. So like that's really, really big, especially having that barrier removal for a big body is really, really good. Next up on that list, we have 4 Videl. We play 4 Videl because Videl is like crazy good. You can counterplay with this card for free, but if you do so, it stops you from using counterplays for the rest of the turn. And then auto, when this card is played, you get to Spirit Boost 1 off your Unison, and then choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards and get minus 20,000 power for the duration of the turn. That's crazy good because if your opponent does have 2 cards in field, this not only is going to make them mill 2, but if you haven't already used your auto, you're going to draw off this as well. So this is going to turn into a 2 body removal, free play, draw a card, mill 2. Like, this card's crazy value and cooler. And on top of that, if the card's like 20k, you can trigger to do this first. So you can minus it by 10k and then minus 2 cards by 20 and make it a mill 3 in that one process and draw cards. So that's like really, really good. And then also the best thing about Videl is like this card like kills like a lot of the really, really good cards right now. Like a lot of the value cards right now, this card will just kill on play, which is really, really good because like we don't want Jiren to die. So this is going to help protect Jiren and also like dive into our main strategy of the deck. Next up, we have 2 Vegeta exploiting your weakness. I have never played a cooler build without 2 copies of this card. In my opinion, this card is absolutely crazy good. It does cost 3, but in a deck that has Senzu Bean and a super combo that untaps energy, it's really not that bad. A great thing about this is because paired with Videl, we can do a double window counterplay. We just have to activate this one first. You can counterplay this for 3 energy and then play this. So if your opponent's playing anything over 20k, you can go ahead and basically wipe their entire board, and 2 things at 20k you can wipe, or 2 things at 40k you can wipe, the entire board at 20k you can wipe, and then your leader will get +5, and then like I said, you can have super combos and Senzu Beans to back you up later. That's really, really good. Also the -3 to help defend. This is great. Just having the board wipe in general, and this isn't only reduced on your opponent's turn. So at any point in the game, like if you just want a board wipe, you can pay 3 and play this on your turn. This will also give you the draw on your leader and the mills. So next up, to help us protect the Unison, 3 testing the opposition. If you're playing the Jiren build, I kind of feel like you just need this card. I'm gonna be straight up. This card not only will negate an attack that they're directing at the Unison, but it will also allow you to block the next one to allow you to get to a battle step, so you can super combo and do some arrival stuff. So this card is absolutely necessary in my opinion. Next up, we have 2 after image. Same idea here. It's free and it still allows us to get to the battle step. The cool thing about this is if your opponent's like swinging at your leader or something, you negate with this, you're gonna boost your leader by 40k and minus something by 10k, and it doesn't have to be the attacking card. So if your opponent says like no combos, you can still use your combo step to get more mills. Like if you wanna super combo and like arrival this behind us, like during the battle step of an after image technique, you can minus something that's not even attacking. You can minus down the card that is attacking. You can do all types of weird shenanigans depending on how your opponent's playing around your skills. Next up, more free negates. We got 2 Wolfang. Wolfang's great, but I find myself charging this card a lot. I like Wolfang, but the only time I really ever use it is if there's a barrier card that I just want to kill, and I don't want to have to waste a super combo and an arrival to do so. Like, I'll just use this. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Next up, we have 3 Oceanus. I think Oceanus kind of speaks for itself in this deck. Like, Oceanus is a very, very good card. When this card hits play, if it does hit play, it's going to not only stop the attack, but it's going to basically stop your opponent from attacking like for the rest of the turn. Because not only does this play super, super heavy into this deck's win con, but this is going to prevent the next attack as well. So it's negate the attack, play this card, and then if your opponent does want to attack, you're gonna just block it, which is like crazy. So it's like they're gonna mill 4 just to get blocked anyways. And then like if they do keep swinging through it, mill 4 again after I use the block, like I'll probably have Jiren on field. I'll just use a minus and then make you mill 4 and then mill another one and then kill that card. So that's pretty rough there. Oceanus normally stops turns when it comes down into play. Next up, we have 4 Great Ape Son Goku. Great pitch target for Oceanus because you kind of have to have one that's worthy. Another great pitch target for Oceanus is just about anything red-blue because of this card here. If you have red-blue in your drop area, you swing with this, you can go ahead and combo with it from the drop area and do offensive arrivals, yada yada. Anyways, this is normally your best like turn 2. Like you'll use this turn 2, draw you 2 more, and it's fine because you probably have a red-blue. You can super combo and defend yourself that way if you need to. And then turn 3, you drop this. You save your awakening for your opponent's turn, yada yada yada. Just too good not to play in this deck. This deck lacks on draw power in the late game if you're not getting your mills off. So for Senzu Bean, this is absolutely necessary. You don't play this deck without Senzu Bean because with Senzu Bean you can just do crazy amounts of like plays. Like let's say I had 4 energy, right? And I had like one tapped down. I had one tap down, right? And I'm just like, okay, I'll super combo and I'll stand that up. Well, I'll pay one and I'll play that. Well, then I'll Sensu Bean and I'll stand that energy right back up, along with, and then right behind that I'll follow it up with this. Now I'll just use my last few and drop this. Like, you can do so many crazy things with Sensu Bean in this deck because everything's done in the battle step. So like that's absolutely necessary. That card's absolutely amazing. Next up we have Gohanks. That's my secret rare choice. The reason I play Gohanks is simply because it's Jiren on steroids. So basically, whenever you play this card, you're going to board wipe the entire field, ignoring barrier, which is great because once you run out of coolers, you kind of just don't have barrier removal. But this is going to wipe the entire board, ignoring barrier, and then mill dependent on how many cards were in play on your opponent's side of the field. And then, like this card has that -3, anytime you get into a battle, you can choose it minus it by 25k. This card is going to say anytime your opponent attacks with a battle card, you can debate if you want to, and then plus minus it by 25k. So this card is an absolute powerhouse, and then it's also a great win con. Like, it gets plus 15 in triple strike, and it's already a dual attack, and then it's also a blocker as well to help you do some defensive things. So this is my Cooler Mill deck, guys. This is what I went undefeated with last week at my local. What did I verse? I'll tell you my matchups really, really quickly. Round 1, I versed Ultimate Cell, that new Cell structure deck. That deck was actually very, very hard to verse. Luckily enough for me, I got to the point. We got to late game, and he just dropped 7-drop Cell on me. I did kill it with a combo of Videl Jiren, but I had to lose my entire hand. And luckily enough for me, he didn't have bodies on field for Cell Successor, so I was able to survive that way, and I ended up getting the mill. I won by mill. I'm actually surprised that I won by mill in that game. But the deck does do so much filtering that it's kind of just like inevitable if you're playing those bodies and you're trying to let them sit on field all game. I'm going to be minusing them and whatnot. So with that being said, Ultimate Cell was a struggle, but I barely got it. Next up, Ultimate Cell. I can't remember what was round 2 for some reason. Man, what was round 2? I honestly cannot remember. But round 3, I versed Red Gohan. Red Gohan is a phenomenal deck, but like he relied on the big UI to try to pressure me. And with that big UI, it's just like this and this just kind of kills it, and then I would just like after image or wolf fang it right after, and that's a total of mill 3 and just get rid of your boss monster in the same process. Though it was kind of rough because he was still getting his autos, so he was going through my hand and snagging. He played Ultra Mastery 3 times and snagged these 3 cards from me in that matchup, so that kind of sucked. Next up, at round 4, the final was against God Trunks. That deck just draws so much, I barely had to do anything. It was like I kind of just survived barely until the end, and then he like negated with a homicidal because he knew that if I got an arrival in, I would win. So he was trying his best to like do as many negates as possible, and then he did like one of those Demon Realm whatever negates, and then afterwards I just dropped this guy, got the board wipe, left him at 1 card, and then passed turn, made him draw, and got the win that way. But with that being said, that was the list, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the list. If you guys did, remember, hit all those buttons for me, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And with that being said, guys, we will see you guys next week.